and it looked like Chennedy Carter has finally broken her silence about this Caitlin Clark situation. Chennedy Carter just jumped out the window and justified an assault on Caitlin Clark.
With the WNBA season just weeks away, nearly every major free agent has landed on a roster, except for one, Chennedy Carter. Best remembered for that notorious shoulder check on Caitlin Clark back in June, Carter's future in the league remains uncertain.
Can you break down that situation that happened?
Yeah. So, in basketball a little bit, there's things called talking, what you like to call smack or whatever everybody likes to call it.
Yeah.
Plays before things are said, that's a part of basketball.
As Caitlin Clark gears up for her highly anticipated sophomore season, Chennedy Carter has taken to streaming platforms to explain her side of the story. She insists it was just a light tap, just basketball. But WNBA teams aren't buying it. So let's break this down. Is Carter being made an example of a cautionary tale for how not to treat the league's brightest star? Or is this just karma coming full circle?
So we know Chennedy Carter has always been kind of up against the fence when speaking about this Caitlin Clark situation. We remember when she first got asked about this during a press conference, she stated that she wasn't going to speak on Caitlin Clark. Now we know months later, she still hasn't spoken on the whole situation. That is until today. Yes, Chennedy Carter finally broken her silence about the Caitlin Clark hip check.
The moment that would come to define Chennedy Carter's career didn't happen in a playoff game or championship series. It happened during an ordinary regular season matchup between the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever last June. In a split second, that sparked national headlines. Carter deliberately shoulder-checked Caitlin Clark, turning a routine game into one of the most talked-about flashpoints in recent WNBA history.
And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Chennedy Carter.
Let's break it down frame by frame. After scoring, Carter makes an abrupt, deliberate move across the court, completely ignoring any logical path back on defense. There's no basketball rationale for her route. The footage clearly shows her, locking eyes on Clark, saying something under her breath, and then delivering a forceful shoulder check that sends the rookie sprawling to the floor. To anyone watching, the intent behind the move is unmistakable.
So she was signed to the Chicago Sky with Teresa Weatherspoon, with Angel Reese, with Camila Cardoso, and, the rest of the folks. And then we get to the body check. This was originally ruled an away from the ball foul, but it was obviously a flagrant foul. It really upset a lot of people, which really escalated the issue. And it was really just poor sportsmanship on Kennedy's part.
The official's decision to upgrade the foul to a flagrant after reviewing the footage spoke volumes. At first, it was ruled a common foul, something you see called dozens of times in any game. But the replays told a different story. What happened wasn't incidental contact during the flow of play. It was a deliberate off-ball hit delivered right after a made basket. The review revealed intent, and that made all the difference.
It's one thing pushing Caitlin Clark, and it's another thing blindsiding her. Like, I don't think there's no justification for that. Like, to be honest, we can be honest here.
Clark's reaction spoke volumes about her character. She was blindsided and sent to the floor, but instead of retaliating or causing a scene, she simply got up, shook it off, and focused on the next play. No theatrics, no confrontation. Just a professional staying locked in. Meanwhile, fans and analysts alike were stunned. What they saw wasn't part of the game. It was a blatant attempt to intimidate or injure, and everyone knew it.
Now, what little girl wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that? How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. That's so dumb. It looks like a soap opera.
When it comes to on-court behavior, the Clark incident wasn't Chennedy Carter's first brush with controversy. After that moment went viral, conversations quickly turned to her history of volatility. Back in 2021, she was suspended indefinitely by the Atlanta Dream for what was described as conduct detrimental to the team, following a heated altercation that reportedly crossed the line. Concerns about her professionalism and ability to function within a team structure have followed her ever since, painting a troubling pattern that's hard to ignore.
Atlanta Dream did suspend her in the middle of the sophomore season, basically saying she was a detriment to the team and the team culture. So then the Atlanta Dream decided to trade her to the Sparks, the Los Angeles.
For Chennedy Carter, the timing couldn't have been worse. With Caitlin Clark's arrival fueling a historic surge in WNBA viewership and attendance, the league is riding a wave of unprecedented momentum. In this new era of heightened visibility, the WNBA is rightfully emphasizing professionalism and sportsmanship as it captures national attention. Against that backdrop, Carter's actions stood in stark contrast to the polished image the league is working hard to uphold.
What's crazy about all of this, immediately after that push, this is what she said to the media.
Kind of on the play before bumping in with Caitlin, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit after the Fever
I ain't
score.
answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
Later, Carter attempted to explain away what millions had seen with their own eyes, but by then the damage was done. That shoulder check wasn't just a bad play or routine foul, it was a career-altering moment. Once viewed as a player with significant promise, Carter's reckless decision turned her into someone teams deliberately steered clear of. Now, she's finally speaking out, and we're going to break it all down. Yes, basketball is physical and fiercely competitive, but there are unwritten rules that separate hard-nosed play from outright aggression. Carter crossed that line in dramatic fashion, and the unified response from the WNBA made one thing clear. The league is serious about protecting both its players and its reputation.
I said Chennedy Carter wasn't going to make a WNBA roster. And as it sit, April 20th, training camps start for teams in 7 days. Training camp for a majority of the WNBA start April the 27th. Chennedy Carter is not on any WNBA roster. Want to know why? Because it's Chennedy Carter's fault she's not on any WNBA rosters.
Carter's career now teeters on the edge, unraveling because of the unspoken boundaries she shattered, and she's scrambling to rewrite the narrative before it's too late. With training camp looming and still no contract in sight, she recently sat down for an interview with streamer Neon in a last-ditch effort to clear her name. The result? Basketball fans everywhere are left stunned, wondering how a once promising star ended up here.
I think a play before, maybe I was elbowed. Okay, that happens. Think the next play down, maybe something was said. And then maybe there was like a little clip of somebody like yelling in my face. And then we go down the court. Then I hit like a little bucket, you feel me? Come down, hit like a little nice little mid-range pull-up. And then I just like, just give her like a little like, I'm here. Like, I don't think it was, what's crazy? Me and my brother went back and watched, and we seen a lot of clips in the NBA of guys getting like pushing LeBron. Like, I think it was Jeff Teague or somebody who like pushed LeBron out of bounds, like said, man, I was mad because like we couldn't stop him.
It's honestly shocking to see Carter try to downplay what millions witnessed with their own eyes. In her interview, she brushed off the blatant shoulder check as simple trash talk, just a little I'm here energy for Clark. But here's what really stands out: the glaring disconnect between that casual explanation and the reality captured on video. The footage doesn't lie. That hit wasn't subtle, and it definitely wasn't part of normal gameplay. It was deliberate, it was forceful, and it was impossible to ignore.
She did. She stopped and went through. Like, that is not... We watched the clip. There is no way that we're letting this happen. Like, saying that it was nothing. Like this is not just a tap.